Welcome back to the Fearless Females Voice podcast, where women's stories and experiences are shared in order to empower and inspire others. This week, I'm going solo and talking to you about a topic which is very powerful and means quite a lot to me because it's something which I've experienced heavily throughout my life. So it's about manifestation and the law of attraction. So you might be wondering what this is, and I will talk to you about it throughout this podcast. So I've been a strong believer of this for many years, but didn't really know about the exact techniques and was practicing it without any real knowledge or background on it. So when I first heard of this a few years back, it all started making sense to me. Firstly, mindset is everything. You can get so far when you put your mind to something, and I'm not just saying that. It's happened to me, and I've received so much goodness from the world and have managed to get great success from putting my mind to something. So I'll go through some examples in a little while, but for now, I want to make sure that sticks with you. That mindset is everything. So when you're feeling down, having negative thoughts, or feel like giving up, that's when you need to switch gears, starting with your mind. You'll be surprised just how much of a difference it makes when you have these feelings and you remove them. You stop thinking about them and you focus on all the positives and your goal of what you're trying to achieve. When you're in a happy, positive mindset, then you will be on a different energy and a different vibe. And this is being radiated out into the universe. It's being radiated out to all those around you. And you'll be attracting things to you that are on the same level. This is pretty much the basis of the law of attraction. It's about attracting positive or negative things through thinking positively or negatively. For example, if you want to get that promotion and you are really focused on getting that promotion at work, and right now, you may be thinking, oh, it's not possible. I don't think I can do it. It's out of my reach. Someone else is better than me. With you thinking in this way, you are naturally showing that, portraying it, and telling others in your own subconscious way that you are not good enough for that promotion. Whereas if you're thinking, okay, I can do this. I will get that promotion. I will make this work. And I am good enough. Then with every step that you take towards your goal, you'll be on a different energy. You'll be on a higher energy and you'll be attracting all the opportunities. When things come your way, you'll say, yes, I will take on that new project that will help me get to this promotion. You will feel and act differently. So that's a bit about the law of attraction and manifestation. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the examples that I've experienced. So I was an engineer working in manufacturing plants. And when I went into the industry, I knew that my work would always be in remote locations. This is just basically due to the nature of the work. So manufacturing plants, you need to pretty much be in the middle of nowhere because they're very noisy. There's elements of safety to consider. There's boundaries that need to be put in place. So a lot of the factories and manufacturing plants are pretty much in remote locations. So I went into engineering knowing that I would live the rest of my life in this career living in random cities. And by random cities, I mean just pretty much in the middle of nowhere. So I ended up living in York, Leeds, but working in Halifax, and Carlisle. So some of these cities are great, but I knew that if I was working in a remote location, I wanted to live in the next closest, biggest city around. So a lot of my family and friends, I'd probably say like 90% of them live in London. So whilst I was living up north in England, I didn't get to see them as often as I liked. And I felt that I missed a lot of key events. And it was quite difficult traveling back and forth at the time, but I did it a lot because I wanted to put in the effort to see them and to hang out with them. I got this thing called FOMO. So every time there was an event, I wanted to make sure that I was there and present. But being 4 or 5 hours away, it's difficult. Traveling straight after work and then coming back on a Sunday, pretty much 10 hours of travel, it's quite a lot. So I had a vision or a dream of living in London because all my family and friends were there. And also the lifestyle, the city, everything about it just drew me in. But I actually didn't know how it would work, as there were no manufacturing sites or companies that I could see myself working with in London. Due to it being a major city, you wouldn't find a factory, pretty much a huge factory in the middle of, I don't know, Oxford Street area. It's just not going to happen. So I found myself traveling to London a lot, as I mentioned, and staying over. And I got used to getting on the tube and again, having a vision of what my life would look like if I was in London. Then 4 years into my career, whilst I was living in Leeds, I got approached by a recruiter. He had a job opportunity in London for a blue chip company with a great salary, and I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, is this the big break that I was looking for and waiting for? But at the same time, I was progressing in my career and I was pretty settled in Leeds. But I thought I'd give it a go anyway. So I went for the interviews, ended up getting a job offer, and I decided to take it. I was unable to move to London and live my vision. I was able to see my friends and family more often and live the life that I always wanted to. And I made this happen. This opportunity came to me through my vision and my dreams of being in London. And when it came to me, I knew that I had to take it. So I had the faith that it would happen, and it did. I absolutely love traveling around the world. I've done it a lot, and I've been on many solo trips. And I did this mostly before I started work. And the one thing that I kept hearing is when you start work and you're in a 9-to-5 job, you won't get the chance to do long trips because it's hard to get time off work. So you won't really have an opportunity to go backpacking as much or at all. And this is pretty much what everyone told me. And I think what most people believe. So if you're thinking that, let me share this story with you to change your mind. I went into the working world knowing that I had a big passion for travel, and I had faith that I could make my travel work. And I had a vision of traveling during my career without taking a break from work. I held on to this vision, thought about it daily, and it all came to life. So whilst I was working, I managed to travel to roughly 6 to 8 countries per year. And this was through my own personal travel. So some people may say, oh, it was a work trip. No, I did it through my own travel. And I may have tagged it on to a work trip, but at the end of the day, it was a trip that I wanted to do. For example, I went to Serbia for 1 week through work. But before I went to Serbia, I thought, oh, let me see what other country I want to travel to. So I went to Jordan for 10 days prior to Serbia. So this was through my own personal travel, and I made it happen and attracted the right opportunities through my thinking and mindset. It can totally be done, and I would tell all women who are working 9-to-5 that travel is always an option. When I left my job in Leeds, I had a 3-month gap where I was then able to travel and do a solo trip to South America. So again, this is another opportunity. So I left my work. I had 3 months before I started in London, and I was thinking, right, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. 3 months of doing nothing. And again, it's something that many people say to us, oh, once you start working, you're never going to have these breaks. You're never going to be able to do it. And that's something that I always heard from when I started, when I was in university as well. It's always been, you start a job and you're in it for the rest of your life. So I never thought I'd get that time again. So I booked a last minute flight and made my solo travel trip happen in that 3-month gap. Again, this opportunity just came to me, and it can come to you as well if it's what you want. One thing I would say is when you're thinking about your vision or what you want in terms of manifesting, be clear with what that vision is. It's good to know exactly what you want. For example, wanting a relationship in the future is not enough. What is it that you want from your partner? What values do you see your partner having? What do they do? What do they even look like? Get specific in what you want, and then the universe can really listen and hone in and give it to you. For example, when you go to a restaurant, you don't tell the waiter that you want to order food. You tell him or her that you want a chicken dish with vegetables on the side with satay sauce. You are specific in your choice, so be specific in your vision. And this is how you'll be attracting more. You'll be in that mindset of this is exactly what I want, and you'll have the tunnel vision for it. So that's number one. Start thinking about your specific vision. Secondly, think about it and commit to that vision. Think about how you feel towards it. Embrace this emotion and connect to your vision. So when I thought about my solo travel trip, I could see it. I could see myself on the beach or hiking or being in an exotic country. I could feel myself going away, and I knew that it would happen. I could feel the sun, the sand, and the sea. It was an incredible feeling and one I held on to, and in the end, it all came together and I had made it happen. The final thing is having faith. Faith is such a huge part of this whole experience and exercise. You need to know that it can happen and do not lose your way. This is all about your mindset and having the belief that you deserve this and you will get it. You need to go all in and believe it. Every time I've had doubts, because yes, I do have doubts, everyone has doubts, they've blocked my vision and my path. It's made things foggy where I can no longer see the vision or the end goal. And this then impacts the direction you're going in as well, because the universe knows that it doesn't really know how to react to this fogginess. So it will not give you exactly what you want. So really be clear and commit to that vision. You need to go all in. And once you start putting this into practice, you will start achieving great things. They will come to you and you will make it work. You will start to think, feel, and act in a different way. You'll be open to accepting opportunities which come in your way, no matter what shape or form. You'll be performing on a new level. So just remember to have some self-belief. And I know it's harder to say it than to actually put it into practice, which is why to make this work, write your goal or your vision down. Be clear. Write exactly what it is you want by when. Now, if you're unsure as to how to even go about knowing what you want in the future, then there's a very simple exercise that you can do that we're going to work through now. And you can do this in your own time as well, because some people may be listening to this whilst they're on a walk. So take your time with it, but just have a think. So if you just get into a comfortable place where it's quiet, where you're comfortable and sitting and relaxed, and close your eyes. Just focus on your breathing and just loosen your body. And then have a think about what is it that you want in 1 year's time? Where will you be in 1 year's time? What does that look like? Start thinking about 1 year from now and exactly what, where, how you are. What do you want? And focus on that vision. Once you see that vision, start honing in on how you're feeling in that new reality in 1 year from now. How do you actually feel? What is happening? What's around you? Have a think. And then finally, start thinking about how you are living today and what you need to do to get to where you are. Are you aligned to that goal or the vision? So they're the three key questions that you need to think about and ask yourself. And I'm going to give you some examples of this. So I've had women tell me that, in 1 year's time, I want to be in a relationship. Okay, that's great. You want to be in a relationship. Tell me more. How do you feel? What does that vision look like? Are you living together? Are you not? What stage of the relationship are you at? These kind of questions to really hone in on that relationship. And then when I ask them, what are they doing now to get there? Or how are things for them now in terms of relationships? and they say to me, oh, well, we're not really on any dating apps. We turn people down when they want to speak to us or ask us out. And yeah, they just love living their single life. They're not making any time in their lives for dating or meeting new guys. Now, this goes to show that although you want something in 1 year's time or however long that period is, you're not currently working towards it. So if you're not doing that, it's very unlikely that you're going to get to your end game. It's something that you need to work through now. You might as well start putting the foundations in and do the work now to get to where you want to be. And this is what this podcast is all about, your mindset, and start thinking about what it is that you want and how you're living now. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I love this topic. So let me know if you have any questions on it. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. And one other thing, I have a free test on my website, which you can take, which will take less than 5 minutes, to help you understand what your blockers are, and will give you some tips and advice to improve that and increase your confidence, resilience, and self-love. So you can check out this free test on www.fearlessfemales.me. So be sure to check it out. Thank you.